Hello everyone, and welcome to the opening round of the Hindle Exhaust Pro Sport Bike Championship from Calabogie Motorsport Park, presented by MV Augusta, part of the 2015 Mopar Canadian National Motorcycle Road Racing Championships. I'm your series announcer, Frank Wood. This CSBK National Road Race coverage is brought to you by Honda Canada, Magneti Marelli, and Dunlop. Now let's have a look at our grid. Scheduled to start in 12th position on the 316 machine out of Saint-Lazare, Quebec is Stacy Nesbitt. From 11th position, the number 17 rider from Upper Cloverdale, New Brunswick on the Honda, number 17, Caleb Noyles. Moving up to 10th position, the 314 machine being ridden by Hugo Fournier out of Lisette, Quebec on the Yamaha. In 9th position, number 46 from Peterborough, Ontario, Yamaha mounted Thomas Casas. In 8th position, number 711 Franklin Dominguez out of Montreal, Quebec, mounted on a Yamaha. In 7th position, number 76 from Saint-Marthe, Quebec, Honda mounted Louis Rafa. Starting from 6th position, from Deep Cove, British Columbia, mounted on the Yamaha that wears the number 229, Darren James. Moving up to 5th position, starting from P5 on the Yamaha, from Sarnia, Ontario, wearing number 47, Will Hornblower. Let's move up to our front row now. Starting on the front row, wearing the number 1 plate after winning it in 2014, hailing in from Bellefontaine, Ontario, mounted on the Triumph 675, the champion Kenny Reedman. Starting from 3rd position, from Saint-Hyacinthe, Quebec, on the number 18 machine, number 18 Kawasaki rider Philippe Massé. Second fastest qualifier, hailing in from Newcastle, Ontario, Yamaha mounted number 53 Eli DeCache. And starting from pole position, former champion in the Hindle Exhaust Pro Sport Bike class, now wearing the number 20 and very much hoping to put the number 1 on that bike at the end of the season. In the CBR 600RR, the Accelerated Technologies Honda Canada sponsored kid from Keene, Jody Christie. That is your grid, 10 laps of And again, those riders who will be focusing as the gunfighters at high noon in Tombstone. They'll be focusing in on that starting light presented by Blue Streak Racing here in Canada. We're picking up monitoring radio report 47. That's Will Hornblower. That's the bike that was that failed him during the warm-up session this morning. There was some question as to might be smoking. Apparently we're clear on that one. They did have a lot of work to do on it, so chances are there was some residue oil. They're firing up the motors now, starting to bounce them off the rev limiters. They look for the lights to go out. The lights go out, the clutches go out, and the field launches. They're away and running. Holy Christie. Oh, goodness. No, it's not Jody Christie. It's Eli DeCache, and I think that was Kenny Reedman snuck up on the inside there. Kenny Reedman with the number 1 plate, the defending champion in the Hindle Exhaust Pro Sport Bike competition. He took that plate away from Jody Christie last year on the GE Capital Castrol Oils Reedman Management sponsored Triumph 675. He's also got support from the factory putting that Triumph on the racetrack. They're now making their way up the long straightaway now into turn number 4. Listen to those motors revving in the distance there. You can just imagine for a moment what's going on in behind the trees. In future years, we hope to have access to those places, but right now the beauty of Calabogie Motorsports Park is pristine, set up for the race. And here they come now into turn 8. It is indeed Reedman in the lead. Jody Christie runs in 2nd. Eli DeCache is in 3rd. Philippe Massé is in 4th. And there's Darren James now right on the back wheel of Massé. Darren James on the 229 machine, the Yamaha put on the track by Trev Dealey Motors of Vancouver, British Columbia. And Darren James was the man on the move as they headed up that hill. He was right on the back wheel of Eli DeCache and Philippe Massé. And those riders chasing after the champion, number 1, Kenny Reedman, who has a very slight lead over Jody Christie at this point in time. This Alan Wilson designed racetrack follows the contours of this beautiful area, Calabogie, the town itself, just 10 kilometers up the road, a big ski area, snowmobile area, and now a big motorcycle racing area. They're down in 17 now, 18, 19, 20 out onto the front straightaway. Here they come. They're stacked up like Riedman, Christie, Decache, Massey, and James in that order. Caleb Noyles, Hollywood Caleb Noyles, being followed closely by Stacy Nesbitt. Nesbitt running the 316 machine. And she started from dead last, has claimed one position on her way towards the front. Let's chart her progress. Keep an eye out also for the number 46 machine. Nesbitt and Tommy Casas. Casas on the 46 machine, both of them fellow teamsters from last year. This year, rather, they're riding on different teams and riding against one another, but still remain close friends from their association with the OCM team out of Montreal last year. Both riders now have progressed from the amateur ranks into the pro ranks, and they're running as pro rookies. Christie has made the pass at turn 5. Christie has taken the race lead over Kenny Riedman, and he's got a couple of bike lengths. I'm going to give him 5 bike lengths, as a matter of fact. Riedman shunted back into second spot. Franklin Dominguez now battling it out with Tommy Casas, I believe he's fighting with there. And Darren James, Philippe Massey, still continuing their battle as they try to keep pace with Riedman and Christie, but Christie making the pass in 5, and whether he can stretch out a little bit of lead here. Remember now that Riedman is hurting a bit. He had a mishap yesterday in the practice sessions before the qualifying and had a rather dismal qualifying. Now put that relatively speaking, because normally Kenny would be much, much faster than what we saw him in qualifying yesterday, and that is a result of the slight injuries that were incurred, but it was enough to throw him off his mojo and put him off his pace. Up through Sugar Mountain now, past the big rock. A racetrack such as this, Canada has never seen before, and the riders just gloat about it. They just love this place. I know of riders who ride at no other track other than Calabogie. Christie is stretching it out. Christie is going for a ride. Look at this. Decache third, Philippe Massey in fourth, and Darren James holding on to 5th place. Then we have Louis Rafa, Franklin Dominguez on the 711. Hollywood Caleb Noyles on the 17 bike, he in from Upper Cloverdale, New Brunswick. Fighting it out now, Hugo Fournier on the 314 bike. Will Hornblower on the 47. Christie got a big lead that lap around the working lap number 3 right now. Jody Christie, Eli Decache. It was Kenny Riedman running in second spot, Decache and Philippe Massey, and Darren James. James running in 5th spot, but he was within a stone's throw of the 4th and 3rd place rider. Right now they're coming up into Temptation once more, and Riedman's got big company. Riedman has got a lot of company now as Eli Decache looks like he's gone hunting. Philippe Massey falling slightly off the pace there. Will Hornblower sets off in pursuit after him with Hugo Fournier and Franklin Dominguez on the 711 bike. Dominguez, the 4-time Dominican Superbike champion, and has been concentrating on Superbike racing here in Canada for virtually all of his career up here. For the first time, he is riding on a sport bike, and that being the Yamaha R6. He normally competes on the Kawasaki ZX-10 Superbike, and he will be doing that today in the Mopar feature race later on this afternoon. But right now, he's coming to grips with the lower-powered Yamaha sport machine, limited to 125 horsepower. And he'll have an opportunity to ride a 200 horsepower limited bike, as we said, later on in the Mopar Canadian Superbike final. Down in through turn number 17, now down the hill and around the bowl. Up the hill and on to turn number 20 and out onto the front straightaway. Riedman, Decache, Massey, and James. Will Hornblower, Louis Rafa, Hugo Fournier, and Franklin Dominguez in their own personal battle. So it's broken into 3 separate races as Stacy Nesbitt now makes a pass and moves up one more position. Stacy Nesbitt has passed Fournier and has now passed Hollywood Caleb Noyles and moved up two positions, I should say, after starting in dead last position after a practice mishap and not being able to get out for qualifying yesterday. Nesbitt has got a bit of a mandate out here. She has a goal in mind and she's working towards it. We look now towards Temptation. Catch them coming into turn number 8. Christie continues to lead on the accelerated technologies Honda Canada CBR 600RR, and in hot pursuit, Kenny Reedman, Philippe Massé, Darren James, and Eli DeCache. As quickly as you can get the words out of your mouth, there they are. Will Hornblower running back in 7th spot, now holding on to his own pace as the battle continues to heat up between Fournier and Dominguez. Louis Rafa on the 76 bike doing battle out there as well. Rafa with sponsorship from Honda Canada. He's riding the Honda CBR 600RR, as is Jody Christie. Christie, who gave Honda Canada 3 championships in a row in the Hindle Exhaust Pro Sport Bike class, and then last year was beaten to the mark by Kenny Reedman, the Triumph rider. So Christie comes into this year with 2 thoughts in mind. First of all, that he wants his number 1 plate back on his 600. Here he comes. Down the front straightaway. I don't have timing and scoring available to me, but I would suggest to you that we're working lap number 5 now of 10, so we're approaching the halfway mark. Lap number 5 is what we're working on right now, and Christie's got a clear field of vision up front on the Honda. But that battle for 2nd spot continues to be the battle that we're watching now. We have a Yamaha with Eli DeCache aboard, the Triumph with Kenny Reedman, the Kawasaki of Philippe Massé, and of course the Yamaha of Darren James. Those 4 motorcycles ride as one, battling it out for the final podium spots. If everything runs the way it is right now, I would certainly say that our fast qualifier Jody Christie may be on his way to a national championship win, but what's to be decided right now is 2nd, 3rd on the podium. It is starting to feed up right now. Philippe Massé on the outside of Kenny Reedman, couldn't get it done. Massé tried an outside pass in Temptation, and Reedman simply moved over and took the line away from him. Sitting there watching all the action from directly behind was Darren James on the 229 bike. He's got a tale to tell, and he has every intention in the world of traveling half the way across, in fact all the way across this country from North Cove, British Columbia to Ontario here, and he has every intention of going home with a pocket full of Ontario money and a trophy from the podium of the first Hindle Exhaust Pro Sport Bike race of the 2015 season. The field now making their way through 10 and down into 12. Thank you very much. Christie, 16, 17, and 18, now through 19, up through 20. He's going through these corners faster than I can keep up with him. Christie with his head down, making himself ever so aerodynamic, all the way into the kink before he sits up and puts the air brakes on. And Reedman has broken away just ever so slightly from Philippe Massé, Darren James. And here now, Will Hornblower. Darren James on the 229 bike, trying to make way for Philippe Massé on the number 18 Kawasaki. Massé, a former Pro Rookie of the Year, and doing a fantastic job out there on the Kawasaki. What a great mix of brands, with a Honda leading, a Triumph running in 2nd spot, a Kawasaki in 3rd, and a Yamaha in 4th, depending on where on the racetrack you're looking at them, because they are swapping positions at a number of places. The lead change only happened once, and it happened in turn 5 as Jody Christie pounced all over the Triumph rider Kenny Reedman, put him back into 2nd spot, and at that point Jody Christie raised the mainsail and has really set off into the horizon, as it were. Riedman continues to hold second. Massey trying once more on the outside of Temptation. There again, not getting it done. And once more, Darren James is the one sitting back there in fourth spot, watching the action, wanting ever so much to put that Yamaha, the Trev Dealey supported Yamaha, on the podium here at Calabogie Motorsport Park. He's going to have to work hard for it, and he's only got a few laps to get the job done. In the distance, the sound of the high revving 3 and 4 cylinder motors reverberating off the trees around this place. Just adding to the excitement, the fact of the drama that you can't see what's going on and you've got to wait till they come back within sight before you have any idea who is running where. Right now they'll be making their way in towards turn number 15. 16 is up and over the hill down into 17, 18, 19. That is the gravel pit there, the big bowl at the north end of this racetrack, where the sounds will reverberate off those walls, and the fans, hundreds of them up there on the embankment watching all the action. Christie again gets by before I can chase him through at 17, 18, and 19. Tremendous battle going on for second and third with Riedman, Philippe Massey, Darren James. Oh, tough break. Tough break for number 47, Will Hornblower. He is pulled over to the side of the track. His shifter has fallen off. His shifter is hanging off the side of the motorcycle. Hornblower cannot select a gear. What a heartbreak. Man, he has had a run of bad luck, and this just adds to it. Stacy Nesbitt goes by, chased by Hollywood. And then Hugo Fournier on the 314 bike. Eli DeCache still staying with the battle of Philippe Massey and Darren James and Kenny Riedman. DeCache sitting back there. He actually probably has the best seat in the house because he's in behind James. James in turn is in behind Massey, and Massey is in the wheel tracks of the Triumph number 42, Kenny Riedman. Number 1, I should say. He's 42 in Superbike, sorry. Canadian champion. Number 1 plate holder, Kenny Riedman, running in second spot. But the 3-time Hindle Exhaust Pro Sport Bike champion, Jody Christie, who finished second in last year's competition, is now in hot pursuit of no one. He is way out in front, a clear field division, and nobody's upsetting his draft at all. Down in through 16, 17, and 18. There's been oh no, it's a pit board, sorry. I thought they were having a black flag on the front straight where somebody's got a pit board out there, and I think that's the one for Darren James. Here comes Christie. Christie, who is one with his motorcycle. Beautifully molded into that bike as though he was at a wind channel. Philippe Massey! Massey passes into second spot. Kenny Riedman has a look to the inside, and Massey slammed the door on him going in through the kink. Philippe Massey, former Pro Rookie of the Year, has moved into second spot. Kenny Riedman back into third. Darren James holds on to fourth place, and Eli DeCache continues to sit back in fifth spot following that action. Tommy Cosles goes by on the number 46 machine, and Kaz is riding as a rookie pro, putting in a great effort out there. The thought in mind that perhaps at the end of the year we might crown him as the Brooklyn Cycle Sunoco Fuels Pro Rookie of the Year. That is his intention. We'll see how it plays out. Right now he's doing a splendid job of achieving that. Now into Temptation. Stacy Nesbitt continues to hold off the advances of Caleb Noy. We'll glance up into Temptation. There goes Christie, smooth as silk. Philippe Massey still in second spot and stretching it out, perhaps a bike length over Kenny Riedman. Riedman scratching desperately to stay in his draft. Meanwhile, Eli DeCache has fallen off the pace somewhat. DeCache is now about 10 or 12 bike lengths behind Darren James, who is mixed up in that battle with Philippe Massey and Kenny Riedman. What a huge battle going on for the final podium spots, but the top step looks like it may be occupied by Jody Christie at the end of this contest. Christie all alone out front. He's having a lonely ride in this one. It's too bad because the huge competition that's going on behind him. It would be neat to see him mixed up in that, but he's playing it very smart indeed and stretching this one out in through 17, 18, 19. Now up the hill into the final turn and onto the front straightaway. There he comes. Massey, Reedman to the inside. 2 laps to go. 2 laps to go. 2 laps to go. Reedman took a stab to the inside once more on Philippe Massey, and once more. And Massey slammed the door on Reedman. Massey holds on to second spot. Reedman is scratching around in third. Darren James in fourth. Meanwhile, Louis Rafa, Franklin Dominguez, and Tommy Casas battling it out a little further down there. If you know this track well, you can follow the rider around just by sound as they gear down and speed up. A rolling, hilly racetrack. Here now, Stacey Nesbitt and Caleb Noyles. Noyles in from New Brunswick, Upper Cloverdale. Here comes Christie again. He's going to perhaps, no, that's not Christie. My apologies, that's Hugo Fournier on the 314 machine. He having a lonely ride out back there. Back in 12th spot. Stacey Nesbitt running in 10th place right now with Caleb Noyles holding on to 11th. First place right now is Jody Christie and has been for the last few laps, and I think this starts our final lap coming around now, if I'm not mistaken. Our sight line does not give us the start-finish line, unfortunately. Christie circulating in the 2 minute and 5 second bracket, 2 minutes and 5 seconds a lap, which is somewhat slower than qualifying. We fully anticipated that. Up onto the front straightaway once more. Former 3-time champion. Last lap. And only one more circulation of this track to go. Well, the champion said, I've had enough of this. He battled with Reedman. He's been battling with Philippe Massey for a couple of laps here. Now Kenny Reedman has just said, I've had enough of this. I'm the champion, and I'm not getting pushed around anymore. Philippe Massey had been slamming the door on him going through the kink here 2 laps in a row. And this time around, Reedman had just a little bit of breathing space. Louis Rafa. Tommy Casas has caught up to and passed Franklin Dominguez and now sets off in pursuit of Louis Rafa on the 76 bike. Meanwhile, circulating on this, the last lap, the checkered flag will be shown very shortly to the first rider that comes out of turn number 20 up the hill and into the left-hander into our front straightaway here, and it will very likely be Jody Christie, but let's not put anything in the bank just yet. Battle continues between Stacey Nesbitt and Caleb Noyles. That's what they call the race within the race. Noyles moving right up on Stacey Nesbitt that time around. Eli DeCache running in behind Philippe Massey, Darren James, and Kenny Reedman as they proceed to make their way up towards turn number 9. 10 will have them halfway through in terms of corner count. The traction on this racetrack, incidentally, ladies and gentlemen, is unbelievable. If you have been paying attention to the PA, we were talking earlier on about the fact that Jordan Zoke, for instance, in Superbike actually had his elbow on the ground in through turn number 8. Superb traction on this track surface, and it's extremely good in the rain as well as in the dry. Checkered flag being readied now as Jody Christie working his way through the last 3 corners of this race course. Comes down the hill from turn number 16 into the combination 17, 18, 19. Now he's through 20 and onto the front straightaway. Victory to Christie, and he unicycles it down. Kenny Reedman takes second spot, and Philippe Massey nets third spot. An honorable run for Darren James in fourth, with fifth place going to Eli DeCache on the number 53 bike. Top 4 riders, or top 5 riders now of the 12 rider field have made their way past the checkered flag. The rest of the riders are now doing just that. Philippe Massé. Philippe, one of the most exciting races we've watched from trackside. Tell us what it was like from behind your handlebars.
Awesome. There's nothing else. It was just so great. Battling with Kenny was really something, especially with the bike I had. I know he had a lot of power, so I tried to carry more corner speed. It worked really well in turn 1. I was able to pass there a few times going into 2. But just the whole thing was just awesome. It's been like since 2012 that I moved and I win the amateur sport bike, moved to pro. I never really had those kind of fights, and it's just great to be back there and fight.
Let's talk with Kenny Reedman. Kenny, you were hurting a bit, and that kid down the other side there wasn't making it any easier out there for you.
No, definitely hurting a lot, but I got to give it big thanks to Doc Walker. Wouldn't have been able to finish that race without his help before the race, and my whole team for getting a bike under me after crashing one pretty good yesterday, and thanks to everyone. And that was a great ride with Felipe. He was riding the wheels off that thing, and I had a bit of motor, so it made my life a lot easier.
Jody, you had a race of your own out there.
Yeah, definitely. I was trying to get a good start off the hop there, and I thought I got away well, but everybody else towed me to the first corner, so it was definitely interesting. Made a nice safe pass on Kenny. I knew he was injured, and I knew that would definitely slow his pace a little bit, but it seemed like a dogfight at the beginning, so I was happy to put my head down and get out front early. The Honda was working great. It was super fast in the straight line. John did a great job on the engines over the year, and had the bike handling awesome. So with the combo of that and the Dunlops, it was good. It was a good pace, and I just kind of managed it from there, trying to conserve a little energy for later.
Ladies and gentlemen, your podium from the Hindle Exhaust Pro Sport Bike National Championship Final. Philippe Massé and the Kawasaki in third. Triumph mounted Kenny Reedman in second, and Honda mounted Jody Christie takes first place.